Hello everyone! Happy day, happy good rainy day here. Oh my goodness, I have had a week. I've actually had a couple months, if that was actually a saying, but as you read, had the title, and or if you follow me on Twitter, you would have known that this already happened, but essentially I spent the night in the emergency room and it was really unpleasant, and I am here to tell you about it because it has led them not only to find some answers for me, but also it's leading to surgery. So I'm scared, but we're gonna talk it out. It'll be good. It'll be good overall. Essentially, these past few months, for whatever reason, I had been having really severe abdominal pain, and it was something unlike anything I had ever felt before. I mean, if you had it on a scale of a 1 to 10, I'm not one to exaggerate here, it was usually almost always an 8 to 10, like just excruciating, crippled over in pain, nauseous, just really, really bad. And so I went into the doctor when this first happened to me. You know, I thought maybe the first time it was just a fluke, weird thing, but then the second time it happened, I was like, nope, okay, I need to talk to my doctor about this. And my doctor just like super quickly like laughed it off and wrote it off as, no, that's just heartburn. I kind of had a feeling it wasn't heartburn, but when I did some further research, you know, on the internet and everything, apparently there are multiple different types of heartburn a person can get, because like I've had heartburn before. I used to get heartburn quite a bit, especially when I was in grad school, and also just when I was a meat eater. It's one of the many reasons that I decided to become vegetarian, and one thing was that I had read that one way to get rid of heartburn is to eat less meat, and so instead of just eating less meat, I just stopped eating all meat, and it completely took away my heartburn, like so good. But it was that kind of like acid reflux kind of heartburn where you feel and taste the barf in the throat and the burning pain there. But this heartburn was like this tight, bloating pain, but also like a sharp stab. It was just like a constant awful feeling at the very top of my stomach. It didn't feel good, and it didn't feel like what you would think heartburn would feel like, because you would think there would be like a burn associated and that sort of a thing, and like the bile and the nastiness that I guess most people know heartburn to be. But I didn't believe my doctor. I went home, I did my research, and apparently that is a kind of heartburn that some people do get, and so I was like, okay, my doctor knows what they're talking about, great. But I kept getting these attacks, and it was semi-predictable, but also semi-not predictable. It would always happen in the middle of the night. I would wake up and I would have this pain, and it was so bad. Like, it's not something you could just roll over and go back to sleep with. And so I would wake up, I would take like 10 Tums and a couple Prilosec pills, and then I had read that laying down actually makes heartburn worse, so I would just force myself to get up out of bed and get up and start cleaning. I mean, if anything, it made me really productive in that my apartment was always really clean in terms of like dusting and vacuuming and all that stuff, because I had to keep myself occupied for like a good, it started off as like a half an hour, but then it eventually just increased to like these hour and a half long episodes where I had to just keep myself standing up and taking all those pills and whatnot, and eventually it would stop though. And so I was like, okay, I guess I just have really bad heartburn. And for the most part, I noticed it would happen if I, you know, ate a lot of chocolate, or if I ate something really, I don't want to say greasy, because like I really don't eat much fast food, because I really can't eat a lot of fast food because a lot of it is very meat centric. But you know, if I were to have pizza, or you know, just like a heavier, fattier, oilier food there, how about that, instead of greasy, oily food, I could kind of predict that it was probably going to happen that night. I would have another episode. But if I knew I was going to be eating those foods, I would just take a Prilosec beforehand, and then usually I didn't have any problems, you know, or else at least I could anticipate it. But either way, you know, I just kind of was dealing with it. I was getting these like maybe once every week, maybe if I was lucky once every 2 weeks. And this past Monday night, I just was done Like, it happened, instead of in the middle of the night for the first time, it was happening around 4 o'clock, and you know, I had eaten lunch around 1, so it was weird. Like, it wasn't directly after eating, it was way kind of far after that, and I could start to feel it. But so I took some Tums, I took the Prilosec, and was just hoping it would go away. I went over to my mom's to have dinner and stuff and hang out, and it was unbearable. Like, I couldn't do anything. Usually, you know, we're there, we're having dinner, we watch trashy TV, and I'm able to like do my cross stitch or else like play a game on my phone, like Best Fiends or something. Not sponsored, that's just what I do. Browse the internet, whatever, get some work done. And I wasn't able to do anything. Like, the pain is so crippling. So I was just like on the floor trying to do my yoga poses that are supposed to help it out, because this pain, like, not only is it in the stomach, but when it gets really bad, it would go like straight through my body into my spine and into my back, and it just radiated through my back. I mean, just sore back. And for me, I have a history of like really bad back problems, and so it just gets me nervous that, oh my god, I'm gonna be incapacitated, because like when I have my back problems, it's usually stress related or whatever. It was brought on initially because I waitressed and stuff, and I just ruined my back essentially. But you know, some people, they store their stress in their shoulders. I store it in my lower back, and when that slips, like my discs will slip and then they will pinch the nerve there. I literally cannot move. Like, it is too painful and I will puke. Like, it's that kind of a pain. But so when I start to feel my back in pain, like, I just immediately am terrified, because I am out of commission when that happens. Like, with this sort of a thing, this heartburn thing that I was experiencing, at least I knew it was going to go away in an hour or so. But when it comes to my back, it was like, I'm done for like at least 2 days. I won't be able to move. I won't be able to get work done. I will be suffering, and it will be awful. Like, that's what I know I'm looking forward to, and I don't want that. So like, you know, I'm trying to do all my stretches that I can like kink out my back and make sure my back is okay. But at the same time, I'm feeling nauseous, like I'm gonna puke, I'm getting the cold sweats, and my mom is like, do we need to take you to the emergency room? Like, this is not normal. And I'm like, no, like, it's fine. I'm just having this acid reflux, blah, blah, blah. I'll be totally fine in like an hour or so. Well, few hours go by. Started around 4, I got to her place around 5. At this point, it's around like 7:15 at night, and it's getting worse. This was scary. And so funny aside, my brother was there, and he apparently has very good luck with, when he had or used to get acid reflux, he would eat pickles, because apparently vinegar is supposed to really help with that, which, like, to me, it seems so backward. I would think a vinegar would be an acid, but apparently it's like a really neutralizing thing when you have acid reflux. You know, a lot of people online say drink apple cider vinegar or whatever. And so we grabbed some white distilled vinegar. We poured me about 2 shots worth, and then poured a shot of pickle juice in it to make it a little more bearable. And I did it. I took that shot of vinegar and was like, okay, I'm gonna be all better. Yay, thanks, brother. Well, it made things worse. Not to mention, I had vinegar pickle breath. So either way, it got to a point where I was like, no, this is not normal. I feel like I'm going to, like, I don't know that I felt like I was going to die, but like, I certainly felt like something very bad was happening. And so we went to urgent care and waited, you know, we got there at like 7:45 and waited for about 15 minutes, and they saw us. And as they were like taking my vitals and stuff, the doctor that was on call there kind of stopped in and was like, hi, I looked at your charts, saw you're for abdominal pain. We don't really have the equipment here. Like, you're gonna have to go to the emergency room if you want to get like actual scans and stuff done. And I was like, great. So we went to the emergency room, and oh my gosh, you guys, I guess I didn't realize, I don't know, I feel like maybe I've heard that emergency rooms have a really bad rap for, you know, you have to wait a while. But when I heard that it like takes a while to get seen at the emergency room, unless you're like literally, you've got a limb lopped off and you're bleeding excessively everywhere and like you're going to die, if you're not one of those cases, you have to wait so long. We had to wait in the emergency room waiting room for 3 hours. 3 hours. It was past 11 p.m. when we finally even got to go to our room. But at that point it was so, I was so nervous because like you know, we had been there for maybe an hour and a half or so, maybe like an hour and 15 minutes, and my pain was starting to go away. And I was so nervous. I was like, no, this can't be happening. Like, because I didn't know, like, for these blood tests and stuff to be accurate, or like, if they end up scanning me, some kind of a scan, do I need to be in pain for them to be able to see what's going wrong? As much as I don't want to be in pain anymore, because I've been in pain for hours now, like, my pain is starting to subside. I was from like an 8 to 10 going down into like the 4s, and then a 3, and then a 2, and then a 1. And I was so nervous, and I was telling my mom that, and she's like, well, should we just leave? Like, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, like, I'm gonna wait this out. And oh my gosh, thank God, because it ended up coming back. I would say I was pain-free. I was at like a 1 or a 2 for like maybe a half an hour. And then it just started increasing once again, going up and up and up. Like, I was just pacing around and crippled over in pain, trying to like stretch it out. Like, I was just so, it's such an uncomfortable thing. But like, when I say uncomfortable, it's maybe more like unbearable. I don't know. Maybe this is what child labor feels like. In any case, I know I'm not pregnant, but it just was a horrible, horrible, horrible pain that I had never quite experienced before. Like I said, I had had these kind of attacks before, but to have this pain be so constant for these hours on end, it's just excruciating. I don't know how to describe the pain either. Like I said, maybe the best I can explain it is that it feels like a very big, painful bloat, like a hard, stiffening bloat, but then also with really intense period cramps mixed in, but then also like someone's got a knife and is just constantly, like, not only did they stab you, but they're just like wiggling it around. Like, that's kind of how I would describe it. In any case, it was not fun. Like I said, I was getting waves of nausea, like these waves of cold sweats, and just bleh. And so we finally got into a room. Great, we're waiting. Finally, the doctor comes in and is looking me over and everything, and she was, you know, pushing on my stomach. I thought that it was in my upper left side of my stomach, but apparently when she was, you know, like pushing down to see where I was feeling the pain, it was like she pushed down on the upper right side of my stomach, and it was just, you know, kind of a pain. And she was like, okay, I'm pretty sure this is your gallbladder. We're gonna send you back for an ultrasound if that's okay, blah, 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 blah. They also like really got my hopes up, was like, would you like some painkillers in the meantime? And I was like, please, please, chop off my foot. Just give me the painkillers. Not that they asked me to chop off my foot. I was just like, I was so ready to not be in pain anymore. And so she was like, okay, we'll go get that, la, 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 la. And then like another half hour goes by and no one had come in with the painkillers. I'm like, why? Why did you get my hopes up? I mean, eventually they came with the painkillers, great. But to like also kind of give you the degree of pain, it's like, I feel like normally when a painkiller is given, or like, you know, after you have a surgery or that sort of a thing, not only does it take away your pain, but it also like kind of gets you a little loopy, gets you a little hoo-hoo. This time around, the pain was so severe that the injection, the IV that they gave me, it only took away, like, it only dulled the pain. Like, the pain was still minutely there. Don't get me wrong, I am very grateful for that painkiller, thank God. But it really didn't do anything beyond that. Like, that's how excruciating the pain was. And so they went back, they did the ultrasound, whatever, whatever. And when the doctor finally was able to look at the ultrasound, she comes back and she was like, yeah, so you've got some huge gallstones going on. Or I had one monster gallstone that was like in the neck of my gallbladder. And then apparently I also have what they call sludge, which is like a collection of all these tiny, I mean, when I looked at the ultrasound, it looked like there was at least like 50, 100, like all of these tiny little specks in this like sludgy stuff in your gallbladder. And so apparently what happens here is that all of these things collect, and in my family, it's pretty freaking common, kidney stones. That's what, I'm trying to think. I say pretty freaking common. My dad and 2 of my cousins on my dad's side get kidney stones, like, really bad kidney stones. At least they're the only ones that I know of, but still, that's a lot of people, right? I feel like not everyone has that in their family, but apparently instead of kidney stones, I got or get gallstones, which I guess, you know, they mainly attribute it, I think if you're female, you have a higher risk, and also if you are, I think they say obese. Technically, according to the BMI, I am morbidly obese. Either way, if you're overweight, that increases your risk of it, and there were a few other things that technically don't apply to me, but either way, so I'm a girl and I'm overweight. Cool, I've got gallstones, or I was more at risk for it and then I got it. Unlike kidney stones, which you pass most of the time, which is super painful and I would never want to go through that, do not get me wrong, but the more unfortunate side of gallstones is that they don't ever go away, they just kind of end up settling and then getting bigger throughout time, you know, depending on agitation and all that kind of stuff. And so I need to have my gallbladder removed, essentially, is what I'm getting down to here. I mean, even I went in this morning for a surgical consult because in the ER anyways, they told me, they were like, yeah, like that one anyways is so big, like we are scared that that is going to cause your gallbladder to basically explode, you know, or rupture, and then you end up having a leak and then you can die from that. You know, it's kind of like if your appendix explodes. What is the technical term? Erupts? You know what I'm talking about, right? In any case. And so she was like, you know, this is not something that you should wait on within the next week. You need to have surgery. I'm like, okay, like we will call the consult people and we will schedule an appointment. So we got an appointment, since this was happening at like midnight, called the next day, got an appointment for the next day. So this happened on a Monday evening. I got scheduled for Wednesday this morning. And yeah, I went in and got the consult, and even the surgeon guy who like specializes in gallbladder removal, like he's done over 4,000 in his career. Like it seemed like so, what is the expression? Second nature? Old hat. Either way, it seems like one of those things where he could do this asleep. Pretty much. Like he's done so many of them and has had huge success. Like he had, like his resume looked great. He's gotten all these Doctor of the Year awards, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like super reassuring about it. And so I'm scheduled with a little, beginning of November anyways. I will be having my gallbladder removed, which is really strange. But at the same time, you know, he said, first off, when he looked at my ultrasound, he was like, oh my God. Like apparently that's how big my gallstone was, that was like causing me all this pain. It was enough to make a guy who has seen millions of gallstones say, you know, like super painful. Like when they, you know, because I'm of course reading up about all this stuff, and you know, people say it's excruciating pain, blah, blah, blah. You don't understand until you have been through that pain. It's awful. Like I really don't know how to describe it. It's just one of the worst pains I've ever experienced. I would never wish it on anybody. It is so unpleasant. So he just said, I mean, A, with that one really huge one, B, with the fact that these never go away, and C, since you're getting all of these gallbladder attacks or whatever you want to call them so commonly, like it just wouldn't make any sense to leave your gallbladder in you, because I guess it's like, I don't know, maybe I did know this, maybe I didn't. It's apparently like your appendix, that you don't need it. But we do have it. I think your gallbladder does a little more than your appendix. Does your appendix do anything? I feel like that organ is way more of like a, why do we even have that anymore? But I think the gallbladder actually does stuff. But I know, you know, you can live with one kidney. I think you can live with just one lung. I mean, it's one of those things where I'm pretty sure, yeah, like you can live a happy, healthy life without your gallbladder. I just had been reading, you know, in this interim period of time between when I was in the ER getting diagnosed and all that, and up until going into this consult, I was reading all these horror stories online about how people are saying, you know, yeah, they got their gallbladder out, they completely regret it, it's the worst thing they've ever chosen to do, they now like are completely unable to lose weight, immediately after surgery they've gained like 20, 50 pounds, like, and nothing they can do, even though they eat under 1,000 calories a day, they still can't lose weight, and they exercise and this and that, and I already struggle with being able to lose weight. I personally think I just messed up my metabolism after after so many years, like in high school and before that and going into college and just like, you know, on and off with not eating at all and then binging and, you know, all this stuff. I just think my metabolism is wrecked. And yeah, so I'm already thinking, my God, even with my gallbladder, it's really hard to lose weight. I can't even imagine once I get it out, am I just gonna be super obese? Like, I don't know, but at the same time, I was like, well, let's think about it. Would I rather keep my gallbladder and have to go through these attacks where I can sometimes predict them, but also can't, and they're just like a huge nuisance is not a strong enough word, but in any case, you get what I'm saying. Would I rather have that and stay the weight that I am now, or would I rather get my gallbladder out, gain 50 pounds and never be able to lose it, but also never have to experience one of these painful attacks again? I choose 50 pounds and no pain. That's just how painful it is. Like, it's so, I really cannot stress enough how painful this is, and anyone out there who has had these gallbladder attacks or, you know, have had them bad enough to the point where you do need to get yours removed, like, you probably understand exactly what I'm talking about. The pain is awful. And it's just, that's what it is. So they do the surgery, at least for me, they're going to be able to do it laparoscopically, so it'll be really easy. I think they said 3 or 4 little holes in the top of your tummy, and they just doop, boop, 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 and then whoop, it's gone. Like, they make it sound so easy. It's a 1-day procedure. Like, you go in, you prep, you get the surgery done, and then you're gone. You know, like same-day surgery. Is that what it's called? You're in and out. I mean, you can't drive yourself home because of the anesthesia and everything, but, you know, and I think he said, you know, usually people will take pain pills for, you know, a day or 2 after the surgery, and then after that, Tylenol, aspirin, whatever, is plenty to get you through the pain. Like, it's a pretty dang easy recovery. Within a week, you should be feeling much better, and within 2 weeks, you should be able to go back to, you know, exercise and lifting semi-heavy things and that sort of a thing. But he just made it seem so easy, and like, this is gonna change my life, like at least my life that I've been living these past few months, which, like I said, has just been awful. Like, if I've ever seemed tired in a video, it hasn't only been because of all this stress with like moving and whatnot, it's been because I've been having these gallstone attacks and I've not been getting good sleep, and I just have been so worried about like what I'm putting into my mouth, and just like having a stress, like, is this sandwich that I'm eating something that should be like decently healthy? You know, it's just got cheese and mustard and vegetables on it. Is this sandwich going to cause me to have an attack later tonight? Just that stress is not fun to live with. I was also really happy he reassured me, because so many of these gallstone, gallbladder websites talk about foods that you can and can't eat, and it was so stressing that, I mean, first off, you can't eat red meat, and I'm like, no problem. But then second off, you can't eat broccoli or Brussels sprouts, 2 of my favorite vegetables. What do you mean I can't eat them? Like, those are healthy, but apparently they're like too fibrous or something, and the doctor or surgeon today, I've never known, is that like degrading? Like, if a surgeon is called a doctor, is that like not as, is that bad? I'm asking honestly. But the surgeon that I was speaking with today that's going to be doing my surgery, he was like, what? No, you can eat all the broccoli and Brussels sprouts you want. Apparently, like, my diet shouldn't have to change or be affected or anything because of this. I think, you know, in the meantime, until I get my surgery, I'm definitely going to concentrate on, like, eating really low fat, because that can definitely set off the gallstones, and also you're supposed to eat just, like, very small meals throughout the day. So I'm gonna keep that up until my surgery, but then after that, apparently I'm supposed to be able to eat normally and whatever else. So, I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, since I tweeted that out, that I had been in the ER and that I'm gonna need surgery and everything, I wanted to update you all, let you know I'm gonna be okay. I appreciate all of the love and good wishes and healing and recovery thoughts and all of that. I really do appreciate it, and I will be needing those at the beginning of November. I am happy that this won't be in this upcoming week. I mean, as nice as it would be to get it done earlier, it'll be nice to be able to get work done so you guys won't know that I'm gone, you know? I was starting to stress, you know, like, I don't have enough videos filmed. I'm gonna miss out on a week's pay. Like, it's gonna be awful, la 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 la. Thankfully, I have a month. I can prepare. I have a little over a month technically, and I can prepare and I can have videos pre-done and it will all be good and fine and dandy. That's definitely one of the not great parts about YouTube being your job, is that you don't get paid time off. You don't get sick days. You just, it is what it is. But I mean, aside from that, that's not me complaining. That's just me stating the facts. But yeah, that's that. That's me. That's been my life these past few months here, and it finally came to a head, and thankfully I finally got my answers. It is honestly one of the most frustrating things when you know that there's something wrong with your body and a doctor tells you otherwise. Or, you know, a doctor says like, yeah, there's something wrong, but it's really this like minor thing and you'll be fine. And you're like, no. I can tell, like, I am really hurting. It's something way worse than that, but, like, you are the authority figure here. Like, I believe you. I don't know. It's just, it's really frustrating. And, like, don't get me wrong. This isn't me, like, looking down on doctors. They are very smart. Like, that is their field of study, and they obviously know more than I do when it comes to medicine and health and all that. But it, like I said, it's just so frustrating when you know deep down, no, there's something wrong here, there's something worse than that, and then a professional tells you that no, you're wrong. It's so frustrating to have to be like, okay, I guess I'm just crazy. Like, literally, you are the expert. Like, I do believe you. Crap, you know? Like, why is this so painful when you say it shouldn't be that painful, you know? It's just, it's been this crazy, I've just felt crazy, to put it lightly, these past few months. I have felt absolutely out of my mind. Like, why is it, I've never heard someone say that heartburn is this painful. I don't understand, and like, it keeps getting worse and blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna be talking in circles at this, but there you go. Health update. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope it gave you some clarity as to what's going on with my health. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. Thank you, like I said, for all the well wishes and stuff. I hope you all are doing as well as possible in terms of your health and all of that, your happiness. And I think that's gonna do it for me. Back to regular-esque uploads, you know, like not scary ER-related videos coming at you soon here. And I will just see you then. So, until next time, until then, stay well until then. Bye, guys.